Hi everyone, welcome back to FarmStrong. Jack here, and thanks for joining me for another week on the farm. I've got a bit of a cold, so apologies for that. But yeah, just hiding in the tractor shed as it is pretty wet and drizzly outside. Sort of started raining yesterday, Sunday, about 2-3 o'clock, and has been fairly constant-ish since. And it looks like a rainy outset for most of the rest of the week. So probably no field work this week. Crack on with some of those outstanding yard jobs and things we never get round to. But just going to jump in the fork truck now. We'll get some of the empty chemical cans from the couple of days spraying last week tidied up, and just use these few old seed bags, fill those up with cans, and then bring them back and get them stored out the way in the drying here. So we'll jump in the truck and go and do that now. So I did get through a fair bit of spraying in the end last week. Probably did at least a couple of 100 hectares. Mostly from this farm, and then some from our contract farm as well. So we'll just whip this round somewhere close to the door so we can chuck them in from the dry, hopefully. Let's boom out a bit. Just got the door open on the chem container and actually repositioned the fork truck so that I don't have to get damp while we're doing this. So I just got all the empty chem cans stored in their boxes here, so we'll just get them chucked in, get the boxes broken down, and then it's tidy for when we next want to use it. We did actually have plans to put a roof over this area, and if we did, I wouldn't be getting wet right now, but it seems silly to spend tens of thousands of pounds in the current climate of the agricultural industry do that, so we didn't go with it in the end. Perhaps something we still might do in the future though. Just thought I'd show you, if people are interested, what we were spraying last week on the wheats. So this is a Luxonum Stomp Pack. So that says a residual contact herbicide for the control of blackgrass, ryegrass, meadowgrass, etc. in winter wheat. And then the Stomp, a herbicide for the control of a range of grass and annual broadleaf weeds in a range of crops. And then this was the insecticide, the Spavario. What does that say? Insecticide for control of a wide range of pests in wheat, barley, oats, oilseed rape, and quite a few other crops. So yeah, that's what we're sticking on the wheats. And then some different chemical, to be fair, went on the barley. The insecticide went on that too, but then that had a tower, again broadleaf and grass weeds, and a Quidum herbicide for use on winter barley, annual grass weeds again. So yeah, a couple of different mixes there. I didn't want to subject you guys to a full time lapse of this, because watching it is probably as boring as doing it. I don't know if anyone has some ingenious way of sorting old chem cans and boxes, but I think it is as literally a slow and tedious job as it will always be. Despite it getting easier to fill sprayers now, dealing with all the cans and cardboard, it's just the same. Right, I will call that neat and tidy. Ready for next time. Get this locked up, taken back around, and there's a job that we'll probably do this week. There's a trailer full of scrap that I loaded up a fair while ago now. A couple of our old gas oil tanks on the top there. Go and take that into town. Go and lock that door. It's really quite annoying, this padlock, and they've made the container, they've welded the latch too high up in that little protection box. Go back the other way, take the scenic route. All the backs of these buildings are all quite nice and tidy now. As I had a good job on that a few weeks ago. Drop that off there. Absolute beauty of a tractor right here, JD 3350, and it is, I'll just walk around here and show you, it is a late model, it's a wide step one, and I think it's only done about 7,000 hours there or thereabouts. Doesn't do much for us, just does a bit of verge mowing and stuff, but a great little tractor. When I first started working on the farm, used to take this out Hayteading a lot. Great turning circle on it, awesome lock. Lovely tractor. And we used to have more John Deeres on the farm. 55 series, big 55 series, but I wish we still had them now. There's the evidence of the John Deeres that we used to have on the farm. This is just an old chalkboard of the tractors and the service intervals that we have up in our little shed next to the workshop, but there you are, a 4955, a 4255 and a 3055. I'm not sure if there was a 4755 on the farm at some point as well, but yeah, it would be nice to have that 4955 still kicking about for a bit of fun, but these tractors all have to be sold to pay for the new ones you buy. And then a few other bits. The Bonza Mastiff fork truck I remember, but that's been sold now. The 135, I think, is a tractor my grandfather bought from new. The Ford Digger 550, that's no longer, that got sold. And then a Ford 6610 down there, which I don't think I ever saw on the farm. So, a little bit of Scanterbury Farms history there, as it's a quiet day and it's raining. Coming down fairly heavy now. Getting the straw rake tucked away for winter. First thing, that go in the back corner. .724 doesn't actually look that small compared to the class. Probably a bit closer to the camera, but oh yeah, looks smaller now. We've had this straw rake for a couple of seasons now, and we've been really pleased with it. We bought it with the help of the government grant. And the reason we bought this one from Missouri is that it has the sprung tines on the rear, but it's also got a set of front discs, which just help sort of disturb and cut up the straw. But we've really found this does do a good job in stubbles with just easing some slug pressure. Definitely find that it must be disturbing the slugs and their eggs, and just easing the pressure that we find in, or that we have found in some of our fields. So we like using that in our stubbles post-harvest. Bowser's going to get tucked away in the shed now. Doesn't usually get to go in the shed, as we've been using this to fill the sprayer up over the last few years, but now we've got our rainwater tanks set up round the corner. This is really redundant for use all year round, so that'll enjoy spending some time in the shed. That red paint won't fade anymore. Just getting backed in front of our oats next to our stripper header. Quick look under that. This is quite interesting. The fingers there that strip the grass for us. Lifted up the front of this flat roll to just get the last drop of water out. And then we can get this tucked out the way too, potentially in the dry. That's how much space we've got. Kramer doing a good job as always. Fetching this bucket and IBC out the way so we can get at the Triton drill, and we'll take that out our seed cleaning shed. And put that somewhere else. Light on the subject. Just hop out and get those narrowed up so we can pick it up. I would say some forks that adjust on hydraulics would be a real luxury, wouldn't it? But I guess you would have to plug them in every time you want to use it. Dump that there. Just spotted our vicious guard dog. It's on gate watch. Simba top tilt. Next in the shed. Not. Getting unfolded for some reason. Now getting folded back up. Perhaps Dad just wanted to work the hydraulics before it goes away. I was just informed that was just to drop the water out the end of the packer rollers where it's been sat before it goes in the shed. Wednesday afternoon, just hooked up the 724 onto our salop trailer that's full of scrap at the moment. Gonna get that taken down to the scrap yard. Just lifted up the back and opened the tailgate just to let the water run out, as we've had quite a fair bit of rain last couple of days. So jump in the tractor, get down the scrap yard and get it emptied. Back in the yard now, drop the trailer off the tractor in the dry here. Thought I'd show you the hay, which is taking a hammering. I think we'll definitely have the main bay cleaned out well before Christmas, maybe by the end of November. And then we'll be tucking into this pretty hard. So, yep, I think the shed will be clean this year. I know we left probably maybe 250 bales or so in the far corner from last year's. So it'd be good to get that dog gone. And then we'll think about trying to move all the barley straw on once Christmas is gone. And some people will be keen of it, as all the stuff will be, all the outside stores stacks would have been cleared. We've just had another delivery of slug pellets. We were walking the grass fields with the agronomist yesterday, and we're still noticing some slug grazing. The grass is starting to come on now. There is some at sort of 2 and getting towards 3 leaf, but there's still some younger plants coming through. So we want to try and protect those as well over the next sort of 1 to 2 weeks as they do come through. The grass should probably start to rocket on really. We've still got warm weather and a lot of rain in the forecast. So yeah, we just wanted to protect the plants, the younger ones that are coming through from the bloody slugs. So more pellets there, which we'll put on. Looks like there's going to be a fair bit of rain from this evening, tomorrow, Thursday. So perhaps they'll go on Friday or into the weekend if it's still wet. We've had our preferred slug pellet delivered this time, which is the Slugs. We had the Gustos last time, which I don't think we're too much of a fan of. We prefer the Slugs. It'd be interesting to know, anyone watching, if they have a preference on slug pellet and why. But yeah, that's ours. We were having an interesting conversation with the agronomist around the slugs potentially being random grazers rather than actually sort of preferring a pellet to a grass or a wheat, that they're actually just random grazers. So actually a smaller pellet would be more beneficial than a large one. So in your application rate, with the amount you're putting on, you're actually going to put more pellets down, and there then be more opportunities for the slugs to eat them. So I don't know what other people's thoughts are on that. Had a special delivery turn up today, so just going to get the Stanley knife on this. So what I'm hoping it is some lifting chains and lifting eyes for shipping containers, specifically for. So we're going to try and move one or two of the that we've got on the farm next week. So yeah, get this open and have a look. So what we've got here is a set of, I think they call them lifting lugs. So these can sort of slot in on the top corners of the container, and then they sort of twist round, and then you've got a proper lifting eye to get your chain onto, and then this is a proper set of lifting chains. So that's got 4 lengths on it, which are all the right length for lifting a 20-foot container. Let me look on here, it says. So yeah, it's a 4.5 metre length of chain, and that means you lift the container at a 45-degree angle. So yeah, we didn't have these. We probably would have had some chains that would have done the job, but we thought it best to get a proper bit of gear if we were going to be moving a few about in the future. But yeah, looks good kit, not particularly cheap, but gets the job done. Last job of the day, just got the sprayer out and unfolded it in the yard here because we had a broken sort of boom stay or whatever. It's the little sort of sprung tine that keeps the boom clearance out towards the end. I'll actually go and show you it on the other side. So yeah, there it is on this side. Just keeps the right ground clearance of the boom, so it's not in the dirt, or hopefully not in the dirt. So it's just a couple of bolts on top of there, as you can see. So we'll whip the broken bit off the other side and get a new one on. New bit attached, pretty easy. Just those 2 bolts there. I'm covered in all the yellow shit that's on the sprayer, and remainder of what was before, but been a pretty nice afternoon. See some blue sky there. It was pretty hot an hour or so ago. I had to get the jumper off, but a few dark clouds about now. I think the rain be coming this evening. Container moving. Just plucked it out from next door to those ones. Just getting it in a new position over there. Lifting gear is performing lovely. Made it a lot easier. The proper lifting lugs, chains. We just had to get the chains the right length to make sure we can lift at the right height. Container's roughly in position now. We're just going to tweak it a bit closer to the shed, but leave a gap so we can get around it. We had the road planings, 2 rows of road planings delivered. They were ordered last week or so, so I've been bringing them up here to the hardcore pad, and Paul's just been spreading them and dozing them out with the digger. So I got the bulk of them up here now. I'm just starting to get it flat. See, the front blade is pretty handy for this sort of work. So we just get all this spread into the corners, And then once we've got it roughly flat, we'll come in with probably the fork truck with a full bucket, and then just run over it with the wheels, get it all tamped down. We've made a fairly good job so far. Just been running back and forth, dragging the bucket along the floor just to level this bit off by the shed. Bit more work to do over here where the digger is. Paul's just tidying up the edge of our spoil bank there. And then we've just got to come and finish this bit here. Just a shot of it here without staring into the sun. So pretty happy with this bit here. And we've just got a bit more work. Just drag some back in this corner. Just trying to level off a little bit of a hump we've got here. Try and move some material to the end that we can then drag back with the fork truck. All finished up here now, just sort of finished grading the top off with the back of the fork truck bucket. So I think you'll probably agree with me, it's looking pretty smart. But that'll end this week's video. Again, thanks for watching. Hope the content's been interesting or maybe even enjoyable, and catch you again on next week's video.